Yo, Jason here with Diomedes Industries. I'm going to be showing you today on a one-take tutorial how to strop a head knife. What I've been using lately are these little head knives. They're tiny. That's my finger right there. So they're only a couple of inches wide. Let's see here. Inch and a half wide. This one's got a little bit more size to it. Maybe an inch and 5/8, but not much. I love these dang things. These are made by Joshua Fields at Fields Made. You have to order them custom. It takes some time. Be patient. Joshua is a busy guy, but these are amazing. I don't know what steel he uses, but I will link him and you can check him out. He also makes custom clicker knife blades. He makes also the full-size head knives. So this principle will work with any head knife. This isn't a Joshua Fields. This is a Merlin. But you can see how much bigger this is. Let me measure that up. Should be about 4 inches. Yeah, basically 4 inches. They make them even bigger. I don't like them huge. I just can't control them. This is old school technology, and the people who can control them do. When I watch Paul Long, other guys use their head knife, they're like surgeons. I've gotten better with this big guy, but I've gotten better through the use of this one with Joshua Fields, and I still like this one a little bit more. If you can see when I'm trying to be, the edge, I have a little bit more control because I'm just down closer. When I'm up here cutting, my hand's way away. But it just takes time to get used to. I highly encourage you picking up a very good quality. Merlin is about as good as it gets. However, Joshua Fields makes full-size head knives, and if he doesn't have, I haven't tried the bigger one, but if they're like these, you're gonna be so happy that they paid the money and waited the time. Now, with that said, here's how to strop them. The trick here is to simply gain the edge of the blade that you've got. Now remember, you're not going to be pushing into this. You're going to be pulling that blade away. All right, let me show you on a regular knife here. If this were a regular knife, like this, you would be pulling away on a strop like this. You don't push into it, you'll just cut the leather. When you're using a sharpening stone, you sometimes will push into it like that. Well, you do it pretty much every time. But this is a stropping motion, a pulling away motion. In fact, let me just show you with this blade. I just got this, and it's a beautiful knife. You see here how I have it flat on the leather. Here, okay? Move you a little bit closer. I have you flat on the leather. You want to be essentially there, flat. And in my case, and I'll show you 2 different ways of doing this. In my case, I put quite a bit of pressure on this blade and I pull away. Now, I don't know how well you can see that, but what's going on is the leather is cupping slightly around that edge. Let me get my hand out of the way. Okay? And so you're stropping like this. I put quite a bit of pressure, you can see with my top finger, and I strop away. Okay? Now, there is another way of doing this, however. You can put it on that edge, raise it up just a little bit more, maybe 2 or 3 degrees, and lightly, ever so lightly, and you get that same effect. This process, the light process, doesn't work as well for me. It might work for you, so keep it out there and give it a shot, okay? Now, if you don't have any sharpening stones, you can then strop and touch up edges with wet and dry sandpaper. Get 800 grit, 1000 grit, go up to like 2500 grit. Same thing, you're just gonna place that on here, okay? And then strop away. And that's going to replenish your edge. Now, if you just need to polish your edge, okay, you're gonna, same thing, set it on here and pull away. Quite a bit of pressure, and it allows it to cup over. You will have to spend some time on this getting used to it. One trick that you can do all the way around, whether it's with paper or not, is to take a Sharpie and use that Sharpie on the very edge of your blade. Can you see that there? Yeah, there we go. And so what you want to do, you just want to be stropping the edge of that blade. So I will then place it on here. I've got black compound that's a little bit more aggressive than green. And then I'll place that and run it a few times. And as you can see, I'm wiping away that black marker. In fact, there's only a little bit left up here. Now let me try that again and see if I can get rid of that. If I can, I know I'm doing it right, and I am. It's gone now. If you're doing this and you see scratches, especially with the paper back here, you're too far back. If just the very edge is gone, you're too far forward, and you're probably rolling that edge over, okay? So this strop is nothing special. You can literally just lay a piece of leather with some polishing compound on the table and get the same effect. What I did just to make something easy is I made a big bench strop. I love the size of this thing. It's 1 foot by almost 4 inches, okay, 3.5. I put these little feet on them. You can get them through Amazon, and that raises it up above the leather and keeps your strop clean when you're flipping it over. You then rub black compound on one side and green compound on the other. Make sure you check your compounds though. Sometimes the colors changes, but usually black is more coarse than green, and then pink is less coarse than green, and then you could go to bare leather. Okay? Another option you can do if you don't want to make one, you want to spend a little bit of money, buy a strop bat. All right? A couple of places you can get one of these strap bats. JRE is where I got this forever ago. You can see how long I've been using this. I know Strapman makes one as well. So look that up on the internet. JRE, he makes phenomenal leather. Great guy. Produces for a lot of different makers. Or Strapman, who I've never owned, but I've heard nothing but good things. So as I get done stropping here, I'll end up with my edge replenished. That black is a little bit of steel coming off, so you can see that it's working. I'll end up with my edge replenished, and let me pull up my portable cutting board here and show you that on leather. So now I've got some 8 to 10 ounce, some older oak. So that's pretty thick stuff. But as you can see, I mean, it goes immediately through. There's no resistance, no problem. And same, I just strapped these up for the hook knives. You know, you can put some pressure on it, but not a ton, and you're cutting straight through. If you're not going through that easy, and I just did this Merlin, and it's ridiculous. It makes things go away. If you're not cutting that easily, you're using too much pressure, and it becomes unsafe. Remember, a sharp knife is a safe knife. So learn how to sharpen your strap, sharpen your edges with your strap and with other things. I use stones when I'm resetting my thing, but my edges, but the wet dry paper works just as well. So remember, whatever head knife you're using. Oh, and you know what? Let me show you just briefly. Same thing on the hook knife. You want to come to this edge here. Let me move this over and show you. I get it out of my own way. I'm going to be drawing this back. You want to hang this hook over this edge. Move it up here. And draw away off the edge without letting it fly off the edge. Okay, so what that would look like if I'm using it is like this. And it's just quick, man. You're just replenishing that edge, and you're doing it every so often when you just feel things get, you know, it starts to stick and it's not going through the leather as quickly, okay? It's a quick strop. This one's super flexible, so you've got to practice that edge and use that marker trick. But this will work for almost anything. I'll tell you what else it also works with, which is sort of crazy, is if you're using hook knives that you buy, you know, through other places like Tandy or whatever, and they send you these disposable blades like that, you can put a good edge on these with stones and other things, and then strop them in between. Bruce, who's a long time YouTube guy, he does just the disposables, and I think he gets a lot of life out of those. Now, I don't mind paying a little bit of extra for a Fields made steel, because I think the steel is just a little bit better. But man, I gotta tell you, if you know how to sharpen knives, and I know Bruce does, I think you get a lot of joy out of having those disposable blades sharpened up with your edge on it once you understand things and know how to control things. So that's all I want to show you today. This one was a bit longer, but I wanted to show you how to strop. Take your time, Learn the process. Don't be afraid to dull the knife. You can always fix it. You're not banging it on rocks or anything. You can always fix that edge as you get better, okay? I'm going to do another video down the road where I'll show you about how to reprofile these edges and get a better performing head knife, okay? But that's today. That's how to strop. Good luck. Have fun out there. Make beautiful things. And remember to check out www.diomedesindustries.com, DIOMEDES industries.com. And I'll see you next time. Peace.